Hello, I'm Dolly Brunei, and I want to talk about the New Age, the coming New Age, where the promises of the religions will be realized. That is, happiness, an end of pain, and the taking down of the death illusion that we will no longer need death, because death is a construct of mind that gives us a working area where we can create narratives we call lives and in packages. Now, how we do this is when we die, we reincarnate. Bad word to Christians, but it's the truth. We reincarnate into another personality, and our memories of that past life go away. They're erased with the new memories entering. And so, we having no memories of the past, we believe we were just born newborns, but that's not true. We've actually lost our memories as we were entering the world as children. This is just basic metaphysics. It's basic religion, Hinduism, and Buddhism. And it's also the teachings of Jesus, which were distorted by the writers of the creators of the Bible, because people weren't ready. They weren't ready for solid food. They weren't ready for the real truth, the information you need to learn in order to end your suffering. So that time is coming. It's come now. This is the year. We're going to end suffering because all the ducks are in line, all the pieces of the puzzle are in place. It came with the introduction of the Jan Robert Seth material in about 1970s through about early 1980s. The Don Juan Castaneda books, others like Deepak Chopra, Eckhart Tolle, Ellen Langer, who I've just now heard about. And these are people who understand or have somewhat good understanding of the nature of reality. And but they can't really do much with it until the whole public, learns of it and puts it into practice, because we're like one body. And if the conventional wisdom is you have to take a pill in order to end pain, then you'll have to take that pill in order to end pain. And those who don't believe in it don't need to do that, but it's a little harder because they have to go up against the conventional wisdom, which is very stubborn. And that's why people are so stubborn about clinging to their beliefs, because they believe their beliefs are the only belief. And they were just given that belief by other minds, because telepathy is that we have thoughts that aren't our own, but we don't know it. So we're given thoughts, and we can come to accept or not accept that group of thoughts. But once we accept them, they become us. And with that, we believe that that's all there is. And yet every religion has a different set of beliefs, and they'll call the other belief evil. Now, the beauty of the Bible is the mythology of it is substantive, and that's why the Bible lasts. Yes, they're children's stories, and some may be true, lived out, some just created by poets and authors. But they're children. They're stories for children. And we're the children, and then those stories have wisdom underlying them. Like, for example, the story of Adam and Eve. Now, that's a copy of other stories of creation, like the Egyptian Book of the Dead has its own. Atum is the first man, Atum. Well, Adam, it's the same thing. So one borrowed it from the other. The Jews got that from the Egyptians, because the Jews were the Egyptians incarnated. And so this story tells of there being a perfect couple, Adam and Eve. They're living a story line life of bliss and innocence. And then Eve eats the fruit of the tree of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, not the tree of knowledge, but the knowledge of good and evil. So she learns there's evil in the world, and upon learning that, and evil might just be Hindus or Buddhists or communists, and for them it's the Christians. I mean, Hindus accept Christianity and Buddhists. I'm not sure about Buddhists, but they generally don't accept it. Most because it's a threat to their system of belief. But all the systems of belief have legitimacy. Some might be better than others. Some might not work, but that can be discussed. But every system of belief has some legitimacy, and for those who believe in it, they think that's the truth, and people who are threatening them are evil. So the knowledge of good and evil is exactly that, where you've split into different factions, and having gained that knowledge of good and evil, evil being a created construct that doesn't really exist except in mind, and there are evil deeds. Anything hurtful is evil, but the person isn't evil. They're just ignorant. And so, having learned the knowledge of good and evil, Adam and Eve lost the tree of life. The tree of life is our ancestors. The tree of life is all of the entities surrounding us who are helping us to live. So they lost the tree of life. They lost the hierarchy of their ancestors that were brothers, sisters, and all that. So that story is very rich in the inner understanding. But people don't see it, but yet it was put there by the creators of the Bible. It wasn't changed by stupid or wicked church officials. The church officials have a right per the writers of the Bible, but those writers knew there was no that people weren't, at least in the Roman system, were not ready for solid foods. They needed something simpler, and they got the cross of Jesus, an easy way of salvation. But the cross of Jesus is suffering, and by focusing on suffering, you will suffer. If Jesus died for your sins, why are you suffering today? It didn't work. Well, it'll work someday. Well, maybe, but if you're suffering now, it's not working. So these kind of things are answerable, and when you understand the nature of reality, they'll be answered. And you'll find that people you thought were evil are, maybe they're ignorant, or maybe they're more intelligent than you are. Or the same. But there's no good in evil. Good needs evil to be good. You have to have evil to be good. So you need to have evil people to prove that you're good, or to demonstrate even to yourself that you're good. But nobody is actually better than another if they just have more understanding or less understanding. So more understanding is where we're moving towards. I have a book called, a new one, Cleopatra and Exelon, which deals with the idea of a person going back and forth through time and finding his incarnational selves and interacting with them, which can be done. Anybody can do this. And these incarnational selves we don't actually go back in the physical time. There's no physical time. Everything's a mental construct. This person goes back into the time through the alpha state, that mysterious state between waking and sleeping. And he visits, and what he finds is that he needs to reconcile all of his selves. We have 7 in an incarnational cycle. And he needs to reconcile those selves and bring them into one. So one came to be many, or 7 in this case, and the 7 must come back into one. And if they can't come back into one, then another incarnational cycle will be required, and that means more suffering, and because death is suffering. And so that's the challenge now. But the challenge is here, and we're going to do it. We're going to reconcile ourselves. That means you're reconciling you, a Christian, with a Buddhist, with a communist, because your different selves can be anything, with a different nationality, different skin color, maybe a different sex. So those have to all be reconciled. See, and if you can't do that, then you're harboring prejudices, and you think you're more important than you are because you're better than the person with the different color skin or whatever, no matter what your color skin is. And so that is must be done, and we're going to do that. We're starting it this year. It's going to happen for the masses. The conventional wisdom will change, and you'll see those changes. And you might be afraid of them at first, but there's no reason to. They're your friend, and you'll become better off, and we'll eliminate the death illusion together. Thank you.